Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another speed build, and this is going to be a community lot. This is technically a restaurant lot. I was kind of going for a pub vibe here, but I am creating a restaurant using the new items that just came out yesterday with the Cozy Bistro Kit. I actually built this last night on stream. I do stream over on twitch.tv/Gryphi a few days a week if you'd like to join us in the future, but you also might recognize this if you did join us last night. It ends up being a 2-story restaurant with loads of places to sit down and dine. And overall, I just think it came out really cute. So if you do like this build and you'd like to download it for yourself, it is available right now on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So as you can see right now, I'm just sort of experimenting and placing down the new windows and doors and awnings and signage to get an idea of what I wanted the front of this build to look like. And then I discovered that these columns from Strangerville matched perfectly. So I had to put those on the corners, and then I decided to use these windows from Werewolves, and I just think it blended all in really nicely and came together quite easily from this point. One thing I will mention, which might be frustrating to watch, but I don't actually add a finishing touch like roof until way later in the build. For some reason, I was just like, I don't want to deal with that right now. I want to decorate it. So I do have a partial roof on the side of the build right now, which I will be getting rid of, and I don't place anything on the top for a while. So just keep that in mind. There will be a roof later on, but it ends up being just like a platform roof with half walls. I don't end up using the actual roof tool. Although I did try putting a regular roof on this build at some point. I don't think I left that footage in. It just didn't feel like it fit the style of this build, so I didn't use that. But here I am figuring out some flower boxes and adding a bump out to the side over here to make it similar to the other side. I don't think they end up being the exact same size. I think they are slightly different. But I thought having some shape to this build helped to kind of establish its presence on the lot. I am building actually in the world of Magnolia Promenade, which is a lot that only has, or a world that only has 4 lots. This world came with Get to Work, and I almost never use it, but it's meant for community lots, so I thought it would be kind of fun to build this here. And then this is where I'm starting to work on the floor plan. So I wanted to get a couple of these cooking stations for the chefs to use in the restaurant. And I move around exactly where the kitchen is. It's going to be in this back portion, but I was thinking there'd be a bathroom next to it and then the bar next to that, and I move it around a few different times. But it ends up being a fairly spacious kitchen with 2 of the chef stations. I do use the new bar that came with this new kit, and as you can see by the windows and the bar, although I think I can change the swatch of the bar, but by the windows, I was really feeling this green color. I think it is so pretty, and so I had to use that in this space. I also decided to extend this little bump out on this side to be on both levels, so I could put the staircase there to the top floor because I wanted to have additional dining space up there. And I'm just trying to figure out where to put the bar and the door to the kitchen, and it works out in the end. I actually end up pushing the bar over to the right of where that door is now, and the door to the kitchen is actually behind the bar. So I thought that made a lot of sense. It might be a little frustrating in real life if you had to go behind the bar to get back to the kitchen, but I feel like it's fine in The Sims, and I was quite happy with it. I think these items are gorgeous. The bar backs that I combined together, they technically don't snap together, but they don't seem to have any visual glitching when you put them together, so I was really happy about that. And I decided to combine those, and here I am just extending the kitchen a little bit. And I actually ended up putting some like regular kitchen stuff in there as well, like a stove and a fridge and stuff. So if you wanted your Sims who were owning this restaurant to cook for themselves, they could do that. But here I am starting to add down some of the booths that came with this pack, as well as these little dividers that have glass on them. I think they are so pretty. I know in my build and buy overview I posted yesterday, I tried to snap like a regular size, like small 4-seater table to these booths, and it didn't work. But it does work with these 6-seater tables. So I was able to have some nice substantial size booths in this restaurant. There ends up being quite a few downstairs, but I put way more upstairs. So there are plenty of areas for your Sims to go out for dinner with a family, maybe a romantic evening. It seems like the whole theme of this quarter for the new releases that are going to be coming out for The Sims is romance. So I'm really hoping at some point in time we will finally have the ability for our Sims to propose at a dining table, like at a restaurant. I know we had that in The Sims 2, and I would love for that to come back for The Sims 4. And I feel like this would be a really cute place to have that happen. I don't really feel like this is that fancy of a place. The decor kind of feels fancy because of the style of the windows and everything, but I was thinking this is more of a casual place. I have so many decorations on the walls. I really wanted to clutter it up and make it feel kind of eclectic, and I think it came out really cool. So just starting to work on where those paintings are going to go now. I did use a few of the paintings that came with the Cozy Bistro kits. I ended up kind of collaging them in with a bunch of other artwork in the game, a combination of things that were meant to be more for a community lot or a pub, and other photos in the game. I also wanted to make sure we used some of these tables that came with the bistro kit that have these really cute tablecloths on them, as well as the bistro chairs. I really, really enjoyed these. So there are booths and these smaller tables as well. And because this is a restaurant, we are going to need to grab host stations as well as waiter stations. And I think that works out nicely because when you first walk into the restaurant, I'm going to have 2 host stations and then a divider behind it to kind of separate the rest of the restaurant. And I loved that. So I'm placing these down now. I thought it just looked a little bit too empty just having one, so I put 2 of them here, and I should be grabbing that divider immediately afterwards because I thought that would be just such a nice a nice way to set up this space. I feel like it's pretty realistic as well. I feel like I see those in a lot of restaurants. But here I am getting just some of these bar seating options, the matching chairs to the rest. I got some more of these menus on the wall. And this is where I decided I wanted to use some of these wall sconces that came with the kit to decorate this space. I also really wanted to use that mirror. It is so pretty. So that needed to be here, as well as some menus on all of the tables. And I did want to mention that I use a couple of items from the other kit that came out, the Riviera Retreat kit, which I think is also very, very pretty. But that wasn't really the focus of this build. I wasn't sure what I was going to build with last night when I went live, other than I wanted to use the new kits. And this is what we came up with. But I still really want to do a build, like a dedicated build, where I'm using a lot of the items from the Riviera Retreat kit. So if there's anything in specific you would like to see, I would love to hear your ideas and suggestions in the comments. And hopefully I can have another build out very soon using the other kits, because it is so pretty. I just wasn't really sure what I wanted to build with it yet. So I just talked over the beginning of the bathrooms that are upstairs. I just have a few stalls and sinks, and I will go back and finish decorating that space later on. I just wanted to kind of section it out and have that ready to come back to before I finished decorating downstairs. So I did get a couple of waiter stations behind the bar, as well as one in the staircase area. And then I decided I wanted to change the flooring over here where the bar is. And at first, it's a different flooring. I have carpet. And then I end up raising it up on a platform and changing it back to the same wood floor as the rest of the space. And then later on, I change it to a tile, which I think works so much nicer. It just like really pops. There's a beautiful new tile that came with the Cozy Bistro kit, so I did end up using that. But right now we are working on some more of this gallery wall I wanted to have above the booths. So I'm using a lot of different packs here. This is not a limited pack build whatsoever. But that really big piece that I put down at first, that's like 5 or 6 different items, that is from Cottage Living, and it's meant for the pub there. So I thought it was a good idea to use that here as well. It really fills in the space and gets the vibe I wanted to go for in this area. It just feels so cozy, and I feel like I've been here before. I feel like this is the type of decoration I see in places like this all of the time. So it was really fun to replicate it in The Sims. So yeah, just getting some more paintings. I actually am going to be grabbing a clock as well to hang on this wall right over here. So just rearranging the wall a little bit to accommodate for that. And I think it looks so nice. I also added an arrow up there. I don't know why, I just thought it looked nice. And then I am going to be painting the ceilings with a wood floor that came with Cottage Living. So just going through and adding that in all of these spaces before heading on to our next project, which is going to be raising up the bar area. I think this looks so nice, kind of having a step up here. I end up doing that with a couple of the seating spaces upstairs as well, some of the booth areas, because I kind of wanted to establish more private dining spaces, and I think that sort of did that. And then over here, I decided to add some blinds on the windows as well, and I was having a little bit of trouble lining them up, so fiddled with that quite a bit. But just changing those swatches, and I'm trying to remember when I changed the color of the floor when I add the tile up here. I think it's when I change it in the kitchen as well, which, as you can see, I started with a really ugly linoleum in the kitchen, which I liked. But then I really wanted to use the new tile that came with the kit. So I ended up changing that, and that's going to be also what I use in the bar area. And here I am just kind of tucking in some of these booths upstairs, trying to lay this out. So there's one like right by the steps, and then I have a few over on the other side. And then there's going to be some in the front window as well. And then the rest of the top floor is going to be the smaller tables. So here I am just laying that out. And because these didn't go all the way to the wall, I ended up using some platforms behind them to create sort of planters to make it look more intentional. And I really liked that solution. I feel like it just helped so much to anchor these in space. So just playing around with that now, I wasn't sure if I wanted them to be like shelves with decor or what I wanted them to be at first. But they did end up being planters, and I actually used some in-game plants. Not ones that go outside, some like actual indoor plants because the outside ones were having horrible shadows. So I ended up using a couple of these on each side and then like lowering down the platform so it looked like they were growing out of that space. And I think it looks really nice. I'm also going to be grabbing some of these wall sconces to bring up and put between the tables. And I believe I put those over by the other ones as well. And then I was trying to figure out where to put these dividers because I wanted to have some more of them up here, but I wasn't exactly sure where. I also needed to figure out where the door was going to go to this bathroom and add our other little tables up here as well as the menus. So I am just moving things around, copying things from downstairs, figuring out the best placement for all of this stuff. And I also ended up getting some more of those bar back pieces, which just look like storage that I put up here. And I put another one of the waiter stations between those to have a more built-in area that the waiters can stop with dishes and all of that. So yeah, working on some more decor here. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put more paintings, and then also moving the bathroom back because I realized when I extended the the downstairs space, I never did that with the upstairs. So there was just this weird gap outside. So I had to fix that. I also had some extra space because of that. So I decided to add a closet here. So you do have a woohoo location if you want your Sims to have that. That's something always fun to include in any build. And I thought that that would be nice since I was just talking about like romance. Here I am just adding another table, and I add a bunch of decorative wine bottles all over this build in the bar backs on the top floor and the bottom floor. And then, of course, getting some more artwork above all of the booths up here, just trying to tie it in as best as possible with a variety of artwork. Some of it is stuff I repeated from downstairs, but some of it is different. I really wanted this space to feel that way, where it wasn't just like, oh, I just put the same painting in every corner. And I feel like I achieved that, but you can let me know what you think. I'd be very curious to know if you also feel like this is a place you've visited before. Have you seen and visited pubs and restaurants that have the art all over the walls like this? I really love the new painting that came with this kit. I think it is so pretty. There are so many beautiful swatches on it, and I feel like it's just going to be a staple in future community lots for sure. But even some home lots, because a lot of them do have like wine or some sort of alcohol pictured on them. But not all of them, and even the ones that do, I feel like it's fine. It's just like really pretty artwork. But we're downstairs again now, and I wanted to make sure to add a television by the bar, so I just scaled that one up with Tool, and that is where I changed the tile in the bar area. It is so pretty. I really, really like that tile. And then I am deciding to go ahead and raise up these areas as well. So this space is a little bit higher up, and so is the other one that's going to be on the other side of the room. I just had to adjust some of the paintings accordingly because they were clipping with the booths once I raised them up. But I think this just really helps to change up the space a little bit. And I think it's quite realistic. I have gone to many restaurants where certain areas are up on another platform. Although I will say the ones that it's just the booths and you have to step up to get into the booth, I always trip. I don't know why it is, but like I always trip. Let me know if you have that experience as well. But I thought it looked nice and realistic in this build and helped to differentiate the different spaces. But I also wanted to add some tables outside. There are more than enough places for your Sims to sit here. Like this place is never going to be full with the amount of tables and chairs I put. But I thought it looked really nice, so I decided to do it anyway. So there ends up being a few tables and chairs out there. And now I'm finally starting to work on the roof. So I'm just drawing out a half wall to be the same shape as the building, raising that up, and I will be painting it accordingly. Also, you can see I put some umbrellas on the tables, but I do end up actually changing those out for different umbrellas. I didn't like how the white ones looked. So I ended up going with a green one, which is not the same green as the rest of the build, but I still really liked it. These ones are from the debug in Jungle Adventure, and then I got some planters out here that I wanted to fill with some shrubs, and I also get a tree out back as well. I just felt like it needed a little bit of greenery, not a lot, because it is a community lot in the middle of like a concrete area, so I thought it made the most sense to just have a couple of planters. So yeah, just adding those in now, getting all of these shrubs, and then I should be adding menus to the tables outside as well, because it doesn't look like I have done that yet. But once again, I was jumping all over in this build, so I'm not sure what the next thing is. It looks like I'm adding some placemats. Oh yeah, and adding a back door that you can leave off of the kitchen to exit the building that way. And this is where I'm going to be putting a couple more trash cans outside, like some outdoor trash cans. I thought about adding a dumpster, but I just didn't like it, so I didn't. And then we are starting to decorate the kitchen. I got a couple of these little like Gryphi mats for you to stand on while you are cooking. And then I'm adding in some of these cabinet pieces and a stove. I thought about adding the stove, but it's just so much smaller than the rest of the cabinet pieces that I felt like it looked off. So I didn't end up keeping that one in the end. I got something that would center better between these windows so I could have a nice range hood above it, and just grabbing a fridge over here as well. These things are not necessary to run a restaurant, but I just thought they would be useful for your Sims to have if they are running a restaurant, if they just wanted to make a quick bite to eat for themselves. So yeah, just getting a dishwasher, a sink, some decorations in here, like this menu. I also end up having like pots and pans hanging up. We have a fire extinguisher, some cabinetry, and I think I also added the drinks tray that came with the Riviera Retreat kit, which is really pretty. I just was like, it's new, I want to add it. So that ends up being back here, and so is the coffee machine. This is a new coffee machine that came with Cozy Bistro. I quite like it. Oh, actually, speaking of these new kits, this is really late in the video, so nobody's going to see this, or nobody's going to hear this. But if you are thinking about getting these kits and you decide you'd like to, I would really, really appreciate it if you considered using my code on the EA app. If you just enter the code Gryphi at checkout, it gives me a small portion of the sale, and it's a really nice way to support me as a creator. And thank you to EA for that creator code. So anyway, this is the little hallway space. I added a waiter station here, a couple of trash cans, a plant. This plant is actually also from the Riviera Retreat kit. And then, of course, some more paintings on the wall. And I believe I get a couple of these plants going up the staircase as well. Yeah, I think that looks really cute. And then, of course, another place to hang up coats. And I believe we have the like fire, I don't remember what that's called. It's not the regular fire alarm. It's the one that has sprinklers and stuff included. I thought that would be nice for a community lot. And then we are back upstairs to finish up these bathrooms. I painted a couple of the walls with that brick. Of course, got some mirrors and paper towels and trash cans. And I got a couple of paintings in here as well, just because I felt like it needed some sort of decor since the rest of the space was so decorated. So just doing that now, getting a nice plant over here. And then I end up actually putting one of those paintings from the bistro kit, one outside of each of the stalls. It really helped to fill in that space, and I really liked it. I also decided to add a couple of these jukeboxes. I do have like regular speakers all around the build, so you can play all sorts of music, but it kind of felt like they fit the vibe. So I decided to put those there. And then I am just adding some lighting on the outside with some fairy lights, as well as some like sconces and stuff to light up the entryways of each door. That was kind of redundant, but I just wanted to make sure there was lots of lighting and it was really cute and cozy. So that is what we are doing now. I'm going to get some street lighting as well, and I'm lowering down this bit of lighting into the ground because it was floating a little bit because there's a platform inside. But with that, we are coming to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you all so very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.